What's up, everybody? Welcome to Trending for Four Quarters, only on DSM Media. We are live from the Mecca of Delaware, Throwbacks Sports Lounge in Hockessin, Delaware. This is absolutely the best sports bar there is in Delaware. Ace has the greatest place here. He's been nice enough to let us record our Eagles kickoff show live right here from Throwbacks Sports Bar. I heard a boo already. That's great. That's what you get in Hockessin, Delaware. You get some boos for the Eagles. You can find out. You can find Throwback Sports Lounge.
32 beers on tap.
32? I thought it was 38. 300. He's got the best beer selection. Yeah, this is going to be a off-the-hook show here because everybody's going to be chiming in from the bar here tonight. 721 Ace Memorial Drive right here in Hockessin, Delaware. Make sure you check them out. Follow them on all social media at ThrowbacksDE, Throwbacks Delaware. I'm joined by my DSM Media crew. We got Dylan right here. We got Scotty. We got George. Follow us all on Twitter at DSM_media and all social media platforms. Make sure you're sharing this show out. If you're watching online, make sure you give us all your comments. We're going to be doing a lot of predictions for Eagles Falcons, and we're going to be doing a lot of season-long predictions. So let's start out. Obviously, week one, Eagles, Falcons. We're going to talk keys to the game and a bunch of other stuff. But the question I like to pose to start this show out is, can the Eagles establish an identity right from the get-go in week one that kind of sets the trend for the entire season? It's not like they're facing the Buccaneers or the Chiefs, like a super tough team week one. They're facing the Falcons. And let's face it, Falcons have just as low expectations as the Eagles do. So let's throw it around the table. We can start with you, Dylan. Can they set an identity this week one?
I think so, but I think it's not on the side of the ball that everyone's thinking the identity will be built on. I think the identity this weekend, if it's found out, will be on the defensive side of the ball. Because offensively, we have no idea what to expect. So whatever we expect, we don't know if this is the identity. We don't know. Sirianni's never called plays before. Jalen Hurts is his first time as a starting quarterback, heading into a regular season with a full training camp. So if there's an identity to be built week one, it's on the defensive side of the ball. How will these linebackers and safeties handle the rookie Kyle Pitts? How will Darius Slay and Jonathan Gannon game plan for Calvin Ridley? If they're able to take care of that side of the ball and hold a pretty good Falcons offense down, I think that's where the identity is.
This is not I can't imagine just losing Julio Jones makes that much of a difference. I mean, you look at it, it's Matt Ryan, it's Mike Davis, and Calvin Ridley and Pitts. That's the team.
Yeah.
So it's not like, literally you add Julio Jones back into that equation, it's a different team. But all of a sudden, do they really, give you any fear? They don't really strike fear into anybody. Scotty?
Yeah, so I guess what I would look to, I look at the Falcons as a team. There's not many other teams that you would rather face the first week of the season if you're the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's true.
So will they find an identity? It's hard to say because the Falcons defense could just be that bad that we might see a mirage. Might see an explosion when in reality maybe the Eagles offense isn't ready to be that good.
Okay.
I do tend to agree with Dylan. I think we have more leaders, more veterans on the defensive side. I think that's where we can make our print early.
Absolutely.
It's going to be interesting to see what Jonathan Gannon, the type of defense that he calls. Obviously, Nick Sirianni. We all can't wait to see the offense that he calls, how he's going to use Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts are they going to use his legs like we think they're going to use? They would be dumb not to. They would be dumb to not get him involved in the running game.
You talk about, the defense and the offense, and Nick Sirianni, Jonathan Gannon, Shane Steichen. We don't know anything about any of these coaches, truly. We don't know where, the system is going to be or anything like that.
And that's my point. So after, playing one half of week one or the entire game of week one, whatever we see, I'm not confident that means that's their identity. That's why I lean towards the defensive side, because the core on the defensive side has been here for a couple of years.
But the same question marks on the defense are still there. We still have question marks at linebacker.
That's true.
Question marks at safety, especially in my opinion.
With McLeod most likely out as well.
George,
It's interesting on offense because we have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We really don't. They could come out and they could really test that Atlanta Falcons secondary because we know how bad it is. And you want Hurts to get some confidence in that off the bat. You know what he can do with his legs. Are they going to go out there? Are they going to fire deep to start off in the first drive? You have no idea what they're going to do. So it's very interesting. It'll be very fun to watch. But then again, on the defensive side, like Dylan said, like Kyle Pitts is a dog. We know that. Calvin
You're
Ridley.
going to get tested.
Calvin Ridley, arguably top 8 wide receiver in the NFL, maybe top 10.
Top 5.
Top 5,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
I love Calvin Ridley.
Like,
This year.
Honestly,
yeah.
I don't get scared. I mean, Kyle Pitts, he was obviously a hot draft target,
Rookie.
number 4, but he's a rookie.
Yeah.
You know, and how many tight end rookies have really gone off, especially right away, week 1 in the NFL? Yeah, we don't have superstar linebackers, but I'm not concerned. I'm concerned about Calvin Ridley. I mean, I know Darius Slay, Steven Nelson, you know, that cornerback team is, you know, really stout there, but you know, Calvin Ridley could easily go off for 200 yards.
He's Julio Jones right now.
He is basically Julio Jones. Can he be
be?
Julio Jones?
Can
That's
he
the
be?
question. Because
And-
he's always had Julio Jones opposite of him.
My other question, you know, are we even going to put a linebacker on him at this point? You know, when you're looking at their lack of weapons everywhere else, you can throw a corner
Pitts?
or a safety on Pitts.
Yeah.
But what
and you
safety,
might
what
have
safety are you
to.
going to put on him, though?
It has to be Harris.
Because
So-
McLeod's
It would have to be Harris.
Yeah, it has to be Harris, but can Harris cover him? I don't know. So I don't think it's as, I think, did you say that, or did Scotty say that, you know, you can't really develop an identity when you're playing a weaker team? I think you can, because you can definitely get momentum right away from week 1.
Yeah.
And,
You're going to be
you
able
know,
to see a lot of weaknesses in this Eagles team against bad opponent week 1. You're going to
Absolutely.
see a lot of weaknesses,
Yeah.
but you're also going to see a lot of strengths.
I actually have another direction to go with it. The trenches. I think that's honestly, I said defense at first, but the trenches is really where this team can build an identity because it's the deepest and best groups that this team has, the defensive line and the offensive line.
Yeah.
So I guess that's another way if they want to hit you in the mouth, if they want to use Jalen Hurts' legs, the offensive line can punish Atlanta's defensive front, and then reversely, how does Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Brandon Graham,
Yeah.
Josh Sweat, and Matt Ryan?
How are they moving?
I had originally set we set the question as, you know, can we set the identity? But originally I had written down the phrase, the Falcons are 3.5-point favorites for this game.
I know.
Does anything about this game scream that the Falcons should be 3.5-point favorites? I know, George, you like to bet a little bit. Does anything scream they should be the favorite by 3.5 points in this game?
Eagles outright, and I've been on
Absolutely.
that. Like, I understand that this team, we're not world beaters. Obviously, we all see that. This Atlanta Falcons team isn't good. This defensive line should be able to get to Matt Ryan very effectively.
Yeah, I knew we'd get a couple questions. We did card George
Listen,
before coming in, Jason.
I get
He
that a
is
lot.
23.
I get that a lot.
It's actually Jeremy who's the baby. We left
Yeah.
Jeremy out in the parking lot because Jeremy wasn't old enough to come in.
If it doesn't get any better, this man shows up here with 32 beers on tap and gets a Bud Light can.
I know, exactly. We literally have every craft beer available known to man.
Someone
I was
check
under-
30
I was
vodkas
under
and 30
pressure. I was under
whiskeys
pressure.
back there. And he got a Bud Light.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Check this
disappointing.
kid's idea.
That's as disappointing as this game is going to be for the Falcons.
I think you're exactly right.
I think that's
so,
settled
guys.
right
I
there.
think so.
I mean, I went through the offense and the defense of the Falcons, and obviously we have the offensive names, Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley. But I went through the entire Falcons defense, and not one name jumped off the page and be like,
They're bad.
uh-oh,
Yeah.
that's a good guy right there. We have to worry about that guy.
That's
I mean,
why we have to use our speed off the bat.
absolutely.
Like this offense is so fast.
So that's kind of a follow-up question that we can kind of lead into is like, how do you see the Eagles coming out? How do you see Sirianni coaching this game? Is he going to be
Can I tell you,
aggressive?
can I be honest? I have no idea.
Exactly. I think that's my answer.
What would
We
you,
have no
or
idea.
let me phrase it this way: what would you do if you are Sirianni? Would you come out
Well,
aggressive? Would you
first
go
thing
for it on fourth
thing I
downs?
see happening is the fact that what none of us saw happening when the offseason started, which was we're going to see a lot of 12 personnel because Zach Ertz is still here. He had an amazing camp. You saw a connection with Jalen Hurts there. You know, Dallas Goedert, I don't know if he's the number one tight end like everybody claims he is. I really see Zach Ertz reestablishing himself. And again, they don't have a linebacker that can cover. There ain't a linebacker that can cover Zach Ertz, and there's definitely not two linebackers that can cover Ertz and Goddard.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I almost wore my Goddard jersey today, but I knew I'd
I'm
bash.
wearing a Shane.
I know this is my Shane Falco jersey. The company that makes it doesn't sponsor me anymore, so I can't shout out the sponsor anymore.
Two things. Let me post the tight end, the 12 personnel sets. Is I think it's almost a necessity from the jump because past Devontae Smith, although he's a rookie, he hasn't played a snap in the regular season in the NFL yet. We have him on this pedestal that he's the number one wide receiver on this team. He's the best route runner. He's probably the best pass catcher, playmaker, etc. But after that, I think Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz are your next two best pass catchers. So if Nick
Absolutely.
Sirianni and
Very
Jalen
easy.
Rager's really raw and Quez Watkins is really raw,
Absolutely.
you throw your best players and your best pass catchers and route runners out there to help out Jalen Hurts.
You bring up a really good thing there with Rager and Quez Watkins being raw. We saw flashes in camp with the joint practices and in the preseason game with Quez Watkins' big run. But honestly, what did they do last year?
I know.
There's no, like, even in college, what did they do to give you that vote of confidence? Nothing.
Yeah.
You've got confidence in Devontae Smith because I've said it before, number one wide receiver coming out of that draft.
Wide receivers don't win Heisman.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
speaks volumes.
Exactly.
It speaks
I mean,
volumes.
he's literally the best wide receiver I've seen come out in maybe 2 years. Okay, so you've got him, but I've been saying you need a veteran voice in the wide receiver room. Well, you got that veteran voice in Zach Ertz.
You do.
And Zach Ertz is still going to be that leader on offense.
I firmly agree with you. And we asked Connor Miles about that on Sunday
Yeah.
on Turf Talk, and he said,
Almost at 2K views
I know.
on Twitter.
Guys, we-
Almost
Let's get
at
in there.
2K.
Let's get
no,
in
no,
there.
no. We
After
need
the
this
show,
view.
though.
We need throwbacks hit 2K live on the air. I know a lot of people are tuning in right now.
he said, we asked him that question about the Goddard trade rumors. We asked him the question, 12 personnel sets, etc. And he said Zach Ertz had his best training camp of his career.
Yeah.
Like, not just saying,
Yeah.
not meaning
And
like.
didn't he also say, Zach Ertz or somebody else said, that Zach Ertz had to relearn everything because he was taught improperly?
Yeah,
You know,
I did
that
read
tells me something about the last two regimes
So-
here in Philly as
There's a
well.
lot.
The
It says
last
a
thing,
lot about that.
the
He's
last thing
still
I
so
wanted to get
effective.
back to, you guys asked, what are they going to do to Scott? You asked, what are they going to do to start the game? And I said, I have no idea. So I asked, get this, and I'll throw this to you guys. What do you guys think feeds off of each other in this Eagles offense? Does the run feed off of the pass game, or does the passing attack feed off of them establishing the run earlier?
Well,
That's a great
I
question.
think in theory, the passing game feeds off the run game.
Right. Well,
Okay. But the NFL is a passing league nowadays. Okay. That is what it is. You want to get Jalen Hurts comfortable right away, week one, quarter one, drive one. Okay. So I almost feel like you have to run a lot of play actions and passing games and rollouts and stuff like that. Get Jalen Hurts' confidence level up to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And he's already got a connection with Devontae Smith. We see that. He obviously has a connection with Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Zach Ertz. I did see a stat, I don't know if it was Mike Kay or one of the other guys said that although Zach Ertz is the one getting all the attention, Dallas Goedert had the most targets and most catches and most touchdowns in camp.
Yeah.
Because there are reporters that are tracking every single play.
well, do you see my
And
point,
Dallas
man?
has the top.
No one has any idea.
No,
we have
there is no
no
way you can
clue.
have an idea.
No
And
clue.
and I think that, you asked George the question earlier, Phil. I think that's why Atlanta is the favorite, though, ultimately. It's
Because-
just, there's just a ton of
But on the
question
question,
marks.
there's just as many question marks on the
There is.
Falcons.
There are.
you know?
There-
Even with the question marks, they're going to favor the home team. I guess
That's
Well, you
fair
get
as well.
you get 3 points always
Yeah.
as the home team, and then you go from there. So it's really a pick'em game if
Yep.
you want to break it down.
And
like
we don't
that.
have great history in Atlanta.
Exactly.
in season
Exactly.
openers
We don't have
especially.
Jalen Mills.
Keep going
We don't
on.
Jalen Mills to guard Julio Jones anymore. Actually, both guys
Yeah,
aren't on the team.
that's very
So
fair.
so that's that and all. So all right, let's pick this game to an extent. But before we say our picks, what's the key to the game, George? Or do you need a minute to think about that?
No, that's true. I think my number one key to the game is just getting to Matt Ryan because we know this defensive line is good, and we know that they're probably going to be top 3 in sacks, as like they are pretty much every year that we've talked about them.
Yeah.
If you can get to Matt Ryan, if you can pressure Matt Ryan, get him to throw the ball, and you have Ridley and Pitts at least in a little bit of a chamber, you'll be fine. Like Hurts is going to use his legs. Very interestingly, I know you've been betting your games and everything. Hurts is over/under for rushing yards, 39.5.
39.5 for the game.
I think he blows
Over,
out.
under?
I think he blows out the water.
Yeah, I mean, I think he definitely that's
Yeah.
what it's set
Yeah,
at.
crazy, right?
I haven't
So,
looked at
that
the
is
same
crazy.
game parlays
I-
yet for this game specific.
I do think
I've been
getting-
focused on the season long
yeah,
stuff and all.
I think getting to Matt
Wow.
Ryan is really big.
Look, I
Get
mean,
Matt Ryan.
tomorrow night debuts the new fantasy show on TSM Media with Jason
Yep.
Sullivan and I. DFS, no pun intended. You know, yeah, I know you like that and all. Yeah, I like to plug as much as I can. And what we're gonna focus on DraftKings and the single game slates and all. And my favorite value play of the week, I'm gonna tease it, is the Eagles because I'm gonna stack in a bunch of lineups Jalen Hurts with a combo of either Zach Ertz, Devontae Smith, whatever. Because again, the Falcons defense doesn't scare me one bit,
Not good.
which means we're gonna get shut out, right?
Right. That's what I'm worried. I'm worried we're going into
So,
overconfident. But
Scotty, key to the game for the Eagles to win or lose. What do you think the key is?
honestly think it's building Jalen Hurts' confidence early. Put the defense on their back heels, get them uneasy, and build Jalen Hurts' confidence. It's a lot of what we used to ask Doug Peterson to do for Carson Wentz. Start the game out, easy fundamental plays, dump off passes, easy security
Rhythm
blanket
passes.
throws, easy plays, screens. You get the running backs involved. Get Hurts confidence. Get him completed passes early. Don't let him get in a funk, because then all of a sudden you have guys stacking the box. Now you can't run the ball. Now everything's obvious on offense. You don't want that. You want to get the defense off on their heels early, get Jalen Hurts established, go from there.
Absolutely. Dylan?
It's funny Scotty said the word early, because that's where I'm going. Look, we can talk about, slowing down Kyle Pitts, slowing down Calvin Ridley, talk about, Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, whatever it is. My key to this game is not getting down early. And I don't mean 7-0. I don't mean 10-3. I'm talking like 14-3, 14-0, 17-3 in that range in the first half. Because of all these unknowns, I don't know if this team, if this offense is built to come from behind or this early in this season. So I don't like, if they got down 14-0 early against this Falcons offense, I would not like the Eagles' chances to come back in this game. So don't let the lead get out of hand early.
We talk about what identity are we going to see? Are we going to form an identity for week one? If you go down early, all that goes out the window, because now you're just fighting for your lives in week one. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to pose. So like I do for anybody new to the show, I do poll questions every week, and that's where I center my shows and a lot of my discussions around. I did 7 poll questions this week. We're going to get into them in a minute, but I want to bring up one of the poll questions because I think it can kind of translate into keys for the game. So the poll question was, who is more important for the success of the Eagles this season? And it's Jalen Hurts or Nick Sirianni? And, we had over 500 votes on my poll questions this week, so we got great results for the season outlook. But I think it's important for both of them this week to, set that identity up. Hurts being able to run the ball, pass the ball accurately, check down before he, it's not like this Falcons is going to blitz them and be creating this great amount of pressure. On the flip side of the equation, Nick Sirianni, don't get nervous if a play doesn't work or if your game plan doesn't work early. Don't make that rookie mistake and just change it all up. Stick to your game plan and that kind of stuff. So I think the key to the victory is obviously Jalen Hurts. But Jalen Hurts' success is directly related to Nick Sirianni and his success. And I think that's where it's going to come into play tonight or this week. No,
I completely agree. Dude, I don't know how to answer these questions for you because I don't know about anything.
It's one thing that me and George and me and Jason and I know we got a lot of people comment. We're remote tonight, so I can't get to every single comment on the comment board here. But we've talked about it a million times. There's way too many unknowns at this point.
I would say it more so falls on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts. And I'll even just go back to last year for you, right? Doug Peterson, Scotty, you said it earlier, did nothing to help out Carson Wentz. He didn't move the pocket, no play action, no, he dropped back Carson Wentz 55 times a game, it felt like. But at the end of the day, who did we criticize more? Carson's play, right? So does Nick Sirianni's play calling and his scheme and game plan affect Jalen Hurts' play? Yes. But it doesn't affect Jalen Hurts'.
You could be in the screen. Hey, sneaking by right there. Ace, the owner of Throwbacks Sports Bar, where we are live right now. And ironically, the address of Throwbacks Sports Lounge is Ace Memorial Drive. I don't know how he picked this spot. Coincidence my ass right there. They picked this spot straight on that name. I won't tell what Ace's real name is live on the air, though. I know his real name. Not many people do that. All right. So, predictions for this week. Do we have score predictions in mind?
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do?
Do
you need to save yours for the show?
I said it earlier, and I'll say it today. And
I know somebody over here wants to make their prediction. My man, Mr. Jacoby, right here. Are the Eagles winning week 1, Mr. Jacoby? Oh, man. Come on, you're an Eagles fan. You got to be confident going into week 1. You'll be there no matter what. That's what I appreciate.
How about them Cowboys?
Oh, get out here. All right, you know what? I'm going to let a real Eagles fan come on and make their prediction.
Cowboys fan twice a year.
Oh, yeah.
Giants fan twice a year.
Look, my viewership just dropped by 90% because you came on my screen.
And Redskins fan twice a year.
All right, get out of here. Let me tell you something. Last year during my weekly preview shows, this man sitting behind Scotty here predicted at least 6 or 7 games accurately, not just game, but the exact score correctly. My man Adam. Adam is a big supporter of all our shows.
Adam, what's up, man?
What's the prediction of the score this week?
What do you got?
I got Eagles 27, Falcons 17.
27-17 from Adam. My man, I love it. Nick, what's the Eagles score this week?
24-10, Birds.
24-10. I'm not going to ask the other table. That's where the Cowboys fan came from. So we're not going to ask that
There's
table.
only one bird.
Exactly. All right, so go with your prediction.
This week I'm a Falcons fan.
Oh, my God. Man.
All right.
Our show just fell apart instantly.
I am not saying this.
Yeah, exactly.
I am not saying this because I think the Eagles, are going to have a very successful season. Anyone that's watched DSM Media or my stuff knows I have them around that 7-win mark. But this week, I do not trust this Falcons defense whatsoever. I had Jalen Hurts in fantasy, so this plays a role into this.
Okay.
But
In the DSM league?
no, in another league.
Gotcha.
But I got.
Does
the
anybody have
Birds.
DSM? Him in DSM? No? Okay.
I got the Birds 31-27. Take the over on the game.
Close one, huh?
Close one.
Because
I'm pretty close to him on that
I'll
one,
say
too.
this: the last two, I could probably go back further, but the last two, the divisional round in 2017 and Week 1 on the opening Thursday night game, the last two Eagles-Falcons games have been extremely low scoring, 15-10, and I think 15-12 or something
Them
like that.
combined barely hit the over for this
Yeah,
game.
I'm going.
What is the
a
over on
lot
this
of
game?
offense.
Yeah,
46 or 48, something
yeah
like that.
depends on where you see it. Okay.
So
Scotty, where are you at for predictions for this game?
Week 1, man. Eagles are going to get the dub. It's going to be 27-18. I'm very close to my man Adam.
I'm telling you,
thinking that
no
before.
lie, this guy has predicted so many scores in one season of knowing him that if I might change my prediction just to be his, just because I know he's right. I think you could bet exact
You can't
scores.
bet exact scores.
Yeah, so I might just bet that exact
You might
score.
wanna do that,
Whatever
Adam.
he predicts every game this year, I'm just going to bet that. Just $1, but whatever.
But no, 27-18. I said 28-17. Right? 28-17. Eagles get 4 touchdowns.
By the time you do turf
Two
talk, you'll
on
probably
rush.
change that, right?
right.
I know.
2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. Let's get it.
Okay.
Okay.
George, you're on the clock.
I'm on the same wave as Dylan. I think that Falcons defense is atrocious. I think we're going to take advantage of it. I think we're going to take advantage of it with deep balls and with Hurts' legs. I got the Birds. I got them hitting the over 30-24. Week 1's a wrap. Start off undefeated.
Bring on the 49ers
Bring
for the
on
home
the
opener.
49ers and
49.
Jimmy G.
There you go.
I'm
There you go.
ready.
I got
All right, so
one
we're
more
gonna
thing.
do it. Well, go ahead.
My last thing is I think Jalen Hurts, I want to see how he progresses as a passer this week. But I do believe it's a close game, like I said, 4-point game. And at the end of the fourth quarter, Eagles will have the ball, and Jalen Hurts will pull out a couple third and short Russell Wilson-esque.
What? Who?
Russell Wilson-esque
Who?
pickups with his leg to kick the Falcons in the nuts.
There you
and
go.
not give them the ball back.
All right.
And
there
Matt
you go.
Ryan falls to the Eagles again.
Yeah. Hey, so I got the Falcons. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding for a second there. I would
So
never, even
nonchalant.
if it was the Buccaneers week 1, I'm picking the Eagles all the time week 1, just because that's what a fan does, right? But no, I really truly feel firmly that first off, the 3.5-point line, I'm hammering the Eagles
Yeah.
in the plus
I'm
3.5.
taking the points.
I'm taking those points so easily because even if they lose, it's going to be a field goal or 2 points or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm firmly behind the Eagles winning. I think it's closer.
Don't
Take
jinx
the
it.
money line, you cowards.
No,
I'm betting them outright. Don't worry.
I might bet the money line. We'll see.
Bird's outright.
We'll see what the same game parlay looks like on DraftKings. But the Eagles win. But I'm not as confident in the defense as you guys. Hold on. Before I get my pick, Ace, Eagles win week 1 against
First
the Falcons.
Atlanta, yes.
What's the score? Ace, the owner of this fabulous establishment.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for being
Best,
here, by the
Thank
way.
you
the
for having
Mecca, the
Uh,
Mecca of sports bars.
Eagles win 26-17.
Okay. So you're all like right on the
Nice.
same score right
Well,
there. Okay. I might have to hammer
we all
all those
have the
bets.
over. We all
Yeah,
have
we
the
all
over.
have the over though. Yeah, exactly. All right, so I think it's gonna be a little different than you guys. I'm gonna go Eagles 35, Falcons 31. I'm not as sold on the defense as everybody else. I still think there's weaknesses at the linebacker. I still think there's weaknesses at safety. We'll see if Steven Nelson is good enough to be number 2 to Darius Slay. We'll find all that out this week. If Calvin Ridley can be held, what do we got here from George?
George
That
checked
quarterback,
in. What's
top
up,
5
George?
receiver, a game changer tight end. and the coach we won it.
George is in our fantasy league, right?
Yeah, George is in our fantasy league. Absolutely. Bangers and mash right there. He's the one that traded DK Metcalf for Antonio Gibson.
Nice.
Thank you.
I didn't like it.
Not a
Dylan
good
loved it.
Yeah,
And actually, I will say, I thought it was a bad trade, but I brought it up on my fantasy show last week to Luke Sawhook and the Swag Man, and they both thought it was a very fair, even trade.
Gibson's gonna be a bust.
Agreed.
Bust.
I
Fantasy
agree.
bust.
He was on my bust list this year. Yeah,
No.
exactly. But anyway, that's another whole subject. George, just so you know, you're not the only British person watching this show right now. I got a good English guy right here sitting at the bar right
Nice
now.
hat. Nice
Yeah,
hat.
he's got a nice
Sick
little
hat.
Eagles English, flag hat combo going over there. So you're not the only one watching right now.
That seems custom. That's awesome.
Yeah, it does seem custom. There's a lot of Eagles fans over in
Oh,
England.
yeah.
They're in the UK in general. So 35, 31. We'll see how it goes. I'm way hammering the over in
I'm
this
sorry,
game.
George wanted to
Hammer.
correct you. No, they said that he won the trade.
Yeah, they did say that he won the trade. They
I
did.
remember
I
that.
disagreed. That's why I'm saying you lost the
And our
trade.
guy Jason also checking in. Antonio Gibson is a stud.
Yeah, Jason's another good fan of the show, good friend of mine. And, of course, he's a huge fantasy player. He's in the Scott Fish Bowl this year. So
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know what
Nice.
Scott Fish Bowl
Yeah,
is.
it's huge.
So that's a huge thing. All right. So we're all going. There's 4 of us. Adam 5, 6, 7. We're about 8 to 1. 7 to 1, 8 to 1 that the Eagles are winning week 1. And George, I'm not discounting the Falcons at all. That's why I have them scoring a lot of points this week. As long as they keep Calvin Ridley under 200 yards. I know it sounds odd, but under 200 yards, Calvin Ridley, we win this game.
I don't know. What about
I agree.
Pitts?
I said
the way we guard tight ends, the way we cover tight
I
ends.
said
That was a previous regime. We're going to see if Eric Wilson – I got bashed for thinking Eric Wilson was not a good signing. There's a lot of people that think it was a good signing. We're going to find out who was right or wrong there. And again, like I said, rookie tight end. I know he's a stud tight end, but he's a rookie tight end. So I'm not as fearful as others.
No, I agree with you. And Calvin Ridley can have 200 yards if he wants. Can the Eagles keep him out of the end zone?
I was just going to say.
And
I was going to say that.
and my last thing is something that Paul Hemekita said on the Business Fanatics yesterday. Eliminate the deep plays. You eliminate the big plays. The Eagles defense will be okay if they, if you don't have a Calvin Ridley 65-yard touchdown, a Kyle Pitts 40-yard touchdown. If you make the Falcons work and be successful in the red zone, the Eagles should come out of this okay. You have to eliminate the big play ball.
Darius Slay, we all agree, got hammered last year in that 4 or 5 game stretch. I mean, he had DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, the list goes.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it's Devontae Adams. But how many touchdowns did he really give up in that time frame?
Not
He
a
held
lot,
a few of them out of the end zone completely.
and he
So
was left
that
on an
just shows,
island.
and we were in those games because you kept their big threat out of the end zone, and I
For
think that's
sure.
key. So it's 200 yards is kind of a sarcastic comment,
Right,
but
you get
keeping
the
them
point.
out of the end zone
Right.
is the huge key right there. Absolutely.
So George says, Pitts isn't just a tight end.
Yeah, there
He
were
is-
people that
listen,
said,
he is right. Pitts is a different animal.
yeah,
That's kinda how I feel
absolutely.
like-
Hold on.
I look at it also like the Eagles, though. Like just how we said this is like the perfect game for the Eagles get their feet on the ground. It's the perfect game for Kyle Pitts to step in and
Absolutely.
get his confidence
I agree,
as well.
and I'm not
you know
saying
what I
Kyle
mean?
Pitts isn't going to be a phenom because I believe he will be.
Absolutely.
But to say week 1 of his rookie year, I don't think he's going to be the game changer in this game that wins and takes down the Eagles in week 1.
There's only,
I would
there's
ask
only
you-
2 guys you're worried about, right?
I would
It's
ask
only
a flip
Pitts
question
and
though.
Ridley.
So
And Matt Ryan. So Matt Ryan has time. Matt Ryan could put. I mean, Russell Gage could get 100 yards if Matt Ryan has time.
I like Mike
Yeah.
Davis too.
Yeah, I mean,
like
if
Mike
Matt
Davis.
Ryan has time, Matt Ryan can. He's a Super Bowl playing, not winning, playing quarterback. You know what I mean? So if he has time to throw, he's a veteran guy. He could definitely 100% pick any defense apart on any given Sunday.
So what I would flip and say to that is just that. So what do we expect from Devontae Smith then?
Right.
That's,
You know,
key.
so
That's a great
do we temp-
transition. So we're
do
going
we
to go into my
temper
poll
expectations?
questions.
Yeah,
that's
I
going to
got
bring
you.
us into the poll questions, okay? Before we make our season predictions for the Eagles, I've got my 7 poll questions this week. 6 of them are stat related for the Eagles, okay?
Yep.
And one of the poll questions was Devontae Smith over under 900 yards receiving on the season. Can he get off to the hot start week 1? That might change my opinion. I don't know. But so, again, over 500 votes. I didn't count every vote and all, but it was, I can't read here. 59% on the over 900 yards, 41% on the under. And I know this is a new regime, but we all know the record, right, for Eagles receiving yards for a rookie week in his rookie season, right? Deshaun Jackson, it's like 912 yards or something like that. So the odds don't say It's not like it was just the Doug Peterson era. It was the entire history of the Eagles.
Yeah.
No receiver has caught in their rookie year more than 912 yards. So can we really have that high of expectations for Devontae Smith? Is he that good? Is he better than Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, Mike Quick, Harold Carmichael, who just made the Hall of Fame?
I love Devontae Smith.
So do I.
I think he's the best wide receiver in this draft. I really do.
Absolutely.
And
I wanted him at 6 when we were drafting at 6.
The one big thing, like, he's a rookie. We know that Deshaun Jackson has that with a little bit over 900 yards. Jalen Hurts' arm. That's the biggest thing. Is his arm to the next level this year, where he's gonna feed Devontae Smith to a certain extent, where he's gonna get 900 plus yards. That's the biggest.
So would you vote the over or the under on 900 yards?
I would vote the under personally.
Yep.
I would
I agree.
go
I vote the under. Anybody watching? So again, we're live at Throwbacks Sports Lounge in Hockessin, Delaware. Make sure if you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, you're sharing it out, liking and subscribing and following us. And answer these poll questions in the comments, guys. Devontae Smith, over under 900 yards receiving on the season.
So we got Jason. He's saying 1,200
Whoa,
yards.
no, Jason. That's not
rookie of the year.
That's not breaking the record. That's shattering the record. Adam,
he
over
said-
under 900 yards.
He literally
He
said
literally said he's gonna shatter.
he's gonna
Adam's
shatter
saying
50.
over.
That's rookie of the year.
That is rookie of the year right there. I was
Man.
thinking of placing that bet, and I didn't place that bet. Scotty.
I'm gonna. It's tough for me, man. The history obviously leans on the under, but there is part of me that just feels like he could. I mean, you're talking about an extra game this year as well.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is a good point.
He could do it. He can get the over on it. I don't know how much I would bet on it, but I would bet it. Let me put it that way. But
Over under 900 yards for Devontae Smith.
that's the key.
Over.
Staying healthy.
That's quick.
I love this guy's
Under.
voice.
I agree on the under. Under.
Accent.
Yeah, under.
That's the key to staying healthy.
Yeah.
Staying healthy, I think.
So we got a whole bunch of unders.
Man.
Oh, he's going over.
Yeah, Dylan's going on the over. They can't hear that, but they can see in the picture
So,
that he's going.
I don't agree that he's going to go over 1,200 receiving.
That is like. Hold on. Can I just point out? I forget the exact prediction that Jason made on a show that I was doing, but it was something about Vince Velasquez and borderline Cy Young this year. Or, I don't know. I think he had the Phillies win 112 games.
Don't point at me.
Did he have
Don't
two
point at
hundred?
me.
I don't know.
Don't
He
put
loved
that change
Vince
up,
Velasquez,
look
and he
good.
loved the Phillies to win 100 plus games.
They got a new
So we
pitching
can't
coach,
trust
and the
Jason.
changeup looks really
We
good.
cannot trust Jason's
I'm an
prediction.
optimist. I'm an optimist.
I'm on the under too, even with the 17th game.
Agreed.
I can't say it. I can't say it.
The Eagles and Howie Roseman and their draft classes have not had me excited, and I don't know
This
how
year.
long. Yeah, but I'm
On paper.
but I'm looking
On
at this
paper,
kid, and I just believe, and I know George is going to say, can we temper the Devontae Smith?
Oh, wait till
He said it
George
before.
is just pining and waiting for me to make my record prediction on here. He's just waiting to crush my hopes.
Listen, he's different, dude.
Yeah, he
I
is.
firmly believe he's different. I mean, in 17 games, what would he have to average per week to get to eclipse 900? Well, that's like 80 some yards probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But he's got to play 17 games to get there.
He does have to play the games. That's
In my opinion, I think
do
it's a
agree.
successful season if he plays 14 games.
I 100.
Because he's already banged up to an extent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if he plays 14, 15 games, that's a successful year. If he gets 800 yards and 50 catches,
I would say
6
that's a-
touchdowns, that's a
successful
successful
year,
That's
yeah.
borderline rookie of the year.
And I don't.
If it wasn't always going to quarterbacks.
Exactly, and I agree with you. He is so much different. I don't care that he was at Alabama. I don't care that Mac Jones had career historic statistic accuracy percentages. Devonta Smith, watching him in college was like a video game.
Absolutely.
Wide receivers don't win the Heisman.
No.
They just don't. And like watching.
When was the last wide? Was
Yeah.
was, that,
Oh,
was
it
Devin
so
Howard
long
the last
ago.
one?
It might have been.
And that was
It
more
so
for his
long
kick
ago.
return ability than his actual,
He's
wide receiver
He's
ability.
ridiculous. He's
Yeah.
absolutely insane. The size doesn't matter to me.
I will
He's not-
firmly
There's
say
no
here.
such thing as undersized in wide receivers.
I will firmly say it here. He will have a better career than Jamar Chase.
I love it.
Here's what
Guarantee.
George has to say. He said he doesn't think they'll go over 900. He believes it because of the player, not because
That's
of the
fine.
history.
Yeah, I do,
He
but
said-
That's where I would
But see,
disagree.
the thing
I
is,
would
yeah,
disagree.
it's just really hard for rookies in general to succeed in the NFL. Very rarely do you see rookies succeed.
The thing that I would say, and the thing that I love about Devontae Smith, I think you guys have already touched on it several times, the route running.
Yeah.
And when I look at, just last season, right, and we can't compare the situations directly, but I'm looking at Justin Jefferson. And I'm looking at what was his best skill coming out of college, and it was route running. we all thought he was going to be this slot receiver. He could play any position on the field.
Absolutely.
And I think Devontae Smith is that same guy. He's a possession receiver. He's going to be operating with a lot of open space because of his route running. And I think he's going to be one of Jalen Hurts' best friends. He's going to become a go-to guy on third downs. He's going to be that guy. That's just my true belief. I'm leaning with you, Dylan. I do think he is different. You can say
Over,
that.
but not 1,200 yards over?
Not 1,200.
All right.
I don't know.
So the next poll question was directly tied to that, Jalen Hurts. And I've set the number on passing yards very low on Jalen Hurts. Do you have any Eagles predictions? Eagles. Who?
I don't know who the hell they
All
are.
right, that's it. Don't say Cowboys. That's all that matters.
Who the hell are that?
Exactly. I like it. I like it.
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Baseball.
I mean, Phillies?
No, the Mets.
Welcome to Delaware.
No, not like that either.
All right, 3,000 passing yards for Jalen Hurts, over or under? And I know that number sounds low, but just think about it. Jalen Hurts, his history passing, his low accuracy percentage. The team has low expectations.
Over.
Are you confident in that over?
I think he gets to 3,000 this year. I really do.
Okay.
I really
all right.
do. I think he does get to 3,000 this year.
Okay.
I am confident.
You're confident in that? Okay. And just so you know, it went 63% over, 37% on the under on this poll. Scotty?
Tough.
It is tough.
It's real. I think
You
that
keep
low
thinking about
number.
those legs, too.
I do, and I think about
those
what do
legs.
you think. I didn't. That's why I didn't make it as rushing yards. The
Yeah.
over under.
Yeah.
I made it passing because I think he's going to have a boatload of rushing yards. But that takes
And we
away from passing.
watched Sirianni. Now, obviously, we don't know if he was calling the plays there with Frank Reich last year.
Right.
But he pounded the ball in Indy. He was not afraid to run the football.
That's a great segue to the next poll question too. But we're
You
we're
talk
setting
about
these
a
poll
three-headed
questions up.
monster in Indy that he was working with last year between Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor, and Naheem Hines. He gets similar type of thing here in Philly. You're going to have Miles Sanders. You're going to have even Jalen Hurts, a mobile quarterback. So I get why you hedged the bet right there. I get why it's right at that mark. I would go over just because, like Jason just said in the comments there, it's a passing league. We're going to have to pass if we want to win games in certain situations. But I think that is the perfect number to set it at because you're riding right along
I'll tweak
the
it
line
in a
right
second.
there.
No, Adam, over under 3,000 yards passing. Over.
Oh, I'm
Next.
taking the over.
3,000 yards passing. Over, under.
Over.
Over under 3,000 yards passing.
Exactly.
200 yards a game.
But there's a lot of tough games in a row.
And if you're down late in tough games, what are you doing? You're throwing
We
the
got
football.
one under. We do have one under. George, your British friend, says the under.
I think this is like overs club right here. We're all picking
Yeah.
overs.
I think it's over easy.
I think
I
it's
think so, too.
literally going to be between 29.95 and 30.05.
What do you think
I think he's going to drop like
What do you think about what George just said here, though? If he does not throw over,
Well, hold on a second. So
3,000?
now that, real quick, before I answer that, George,
Yeah.
Dylan, over under
legs.
3,000
I think
yards.
it's over easy. I'm not saying it's
Over
over
easy, okay.
3,500 yards, but like he said,
I think that was a good number. I should be
Great
making the
number.
betting line, is what I
Dude,
think.
in a 17-game
I see,
season,
that's what I
that's
said.
200 passing yards a game. That's
I think that's
3,400 yards.
Yeah. And
Just
when you're down
200
late,
yards, just 200 yards a game for 17 games is 3,400 yards.
yeah. And
So
when you're
I
down
think
late,
he-
Right, but here, let me phrase this a little differently then for you, okay? If you had to say that he rushes for 800,
Exactly.
yeah, I know,
That's true.
different person, different quarterback,
yeah, better
different
quarterback.
system. Ooh, I used to use a hashtag Wentz is elite. I don't use it anymore. Okay.
He said, ooh.
Ooh. Where were you last year for me? Everything was like Wentz is elite. I had him as the number 4 quarterback entering last season.
Yeah, I know.
last
I
year.
know
Oh,
top 5.
man.
Yeah,
I know
okay,
top
all right.
5.
What if Jalen Hurts rushes for 800 yards this year?
What if?
Not happy.
What if?
What if he does? I mean,
He's not.
That's a lot of yards.
it is.
It's a lot of yards.
What if he rushes for 600 yards?
I don't
Obviously,
think,
it's not going to be that far over 3,000 yards if he's rushing for 600,
I don't
If he
700
think
yards.
rushes for 600, I can still see him throwing for 3,000.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I could,
my question
honestly.
is, what kind of a quarterback is Jalen Hurts?
3,600 yards of total offense for him is, I think it's pretty realistic.
Okay,
honestly.
well, that to me that puts him right at the 3,000 mark passing because
It's a
I
good
think
number.
that's 600 to
It is a
700
good
yards.
number.
I said it high with the 800, but I think that 600-700 yard rushing is the key thing there.
I don't.
That doesn't change it for you guys. The over
I
under.
don't think he rushes over 500 yards. I think he's
Wow.
around 500.
Really?
I disagree with that. Firmly.
I think he goes
Firmly.
over 500.
I think he goes over
I
600
think he
yards
goes
rushing.
over
Those
5.
legs are.
I think
those legs
that's
are
why I
so
like
good.
him in fantasy so much. Is because he's going to go over
Those
600
legs-
yards.
He's a great fan.
What I would say,
He
I would
might be a
say-
top 5 fantasy
The legs
quarterback.
are there.
Yeah.
what I would say, just to kind of help Dylan's point there, is if Hurts is up in the 700 or 800 rushing yards, how good of a season are we really having if he's running the ball that much?
True.
If he's having to escape the pocket that much. So that would be kind of my
Legs are a weapon. I mean,
advocate to that.
Cam Newton did it. Michael Vick did it. There's a lot of running quarterbacks that had their team succeed because they were running.
You are right.
So, all right. So the next one, which is also another aspect of the Hurts and the Devontae Smith, is Miles Sanders. All right. So I set the over/under, guys. You want to see here another one? I set the over/under on Miles Sanders rushing yards only, 1,100 yards.
1,100.
Over/under 1,100. 66% people voted the under.
You love the over.
34%.
You love the over.
Yeah, that's why he loses every bet he makes. That's why he's a terrible fantasy football player. Except for the year he
Every
beat
time
me.
there's a question.
All right,
it's like,
so
over.
Nick over here off to the side.
Undefeated.
Yeah, Nick over here. I went 13-0 in a fantasy football season. Week 1 of the playoffs, somebody upset me and smoked me. Smoked me.
I like this guy.
Smoked me.
I like this guy.
I do. I
Smoked
love
me
to
in
watch
that league.
games of this.
Dude, I had Peyton Hillis's breakout year, Arian Foster's breakout
Oh
year.
my God,
You-
when was this?
I drafted them both in their last 2 rounds of the draft. Arian Foster and Peyton Hillis. I had Maurice Jones-Drew and Steven Jackson as my starting running backs.
That's like 3 top 5
And
guys.
Philip Rivers. What? Oh, it was a tough call. I was literally winning every single week by 50, 60 points. 50, 60 points every single week. At first round of the playoffs, I scored like 75 points. I went from scoring 180 a week to 75 in 1 week because everybody got benched. Anyway, 1,100 yards. Miles Sanders. Because again,
Can I start this one?
no, you can't. Because you asked, you didn't raise your hand. You raise your hand in front of the camera? All right, yeah.
Not
At least you smiled there, because yesterday with Embo, you didn't smile once.
Say it. Not a damn chance. No, not at
So,
no
anti-Miles Sanders.
No, I'm not.
No.
But in this offense with the 3 running backs, and I'm not saying Boston Scott's going to come in and carry the ball out of anything,
Scott sucks.
but I'm going
That's
to
a
say
question. That's why I set the yards.
I
not
think
carries.
Sanders is around 800 to 900 rushing yards.
Love it. I agree. And I think Kenneth Gainwell is the truth.
Kenneth Gainwell is the truth in my
I like
opinion.
him a lot.
But again, he's a rookie.
The real thing is,
If
like,
Matt
can Miles
McGinty is
Sanders
watching, don't click on
Can-
his comments.
can Miles Sanders be that workhorse that we thought he was going to be last year? That's the biggest
I don't
question.
think
I don't
can
think
be,
he's
but-
going to be used like that.
Okay, well, if he's not,
I don't think Miles
hell
Sanders
no.
makes it out of his rookie contract in
Then
Philly.
hell no, he's not going to get 11.
Exactly.
Then no.
I don't think.
And I like
think,
Gainwell a lot.
I think between
he's going
Hurts,
to be in there a lot too.
Scott, who I'm not a, I thought Scott was going to get cut. That was my first bad prediction of the off season. But then Nick Sirianni came out and claimed how great Boston Scott was and how much of a leader he was. So I knew that was a bad prediction right away. Between Boston Scott, Jalen Hurts, Kenneth Gainwell, yes, it pains me to say this, even Jordan Howard some weeks,
He'll be up
Yeah.
some weeks.
it's going to be under 1,100 yards
I
in my
agree.
opinion.
I think we're all
Scotty?
under.
Yeah, I think I would have to go with the
Adam,
under.
over under on.
History
under.
says he
So you
will
guys
be
are going
injured.
under? We got under. We're all literally. This is the first time throwbacks has
He
been
just, like,
100%.
screaming
No, we're not.
No, that's
No,
right,
we're
Nick.
not.
But we don't count Nick.
He just like screaming over.
Nick's useless. Nick's useless. Okay, it's okay. He's only here because his wife's here with my wife. Okay, because she needed somebody to hang out with. All right. Next, so that was what 3 poll questions we did there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Where am I on my list here?
After
All right.
Miles.
So back to. Well, I'm doing them all out of order, so I got
I
to change
got
this all up. So again, this one went 68% Hurts, 32% Sirianni. Who is more important for Eagles' success this season as a whole to be successful? Hurts or Sirianni?
Jalen Hurts.
And you didn't even hesitate there.
I
You don't think the
it's really
coach
that close.
makes the player? Because I know that's what George is going to say.
No,
I think that's what he said to me this week. The coach makes the player. The play
coach,
calls make
They
the
will-
player.
They will be a factor. But that doesn't mean that Jalen Hurts has to step up when put in the correct situation. Jalen Hurts has to make the throws when they're there. Jalen Hurts can't leave the pocket too early and not let plays develop and routes develop. Jalen Hurts has to deliver the deep ball down the field. Sirianni plays a factor. He's never called plays before. So we could be ripping our hair out by week 3 or 4 about just like we were with Doug Peterson last year. But it ultimately comes down to Jalen Hurts.
George?
It's Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
And I get the head coaching aspect, and I know everyone's very excited to see how he does this year. But if Jalen Hurts isn't making his throws, that's not on Sirianni. Like you said, he's got to hit the deep ball. He's got to know when to use his legs. He's got to know when to use his arm. Like Jalen Hurts, this is a big year for him because this is the first year where he's coming in and everyone around knows he is QB1.
To say, here's what I'll say.
QB1.
To say it's Sirianni would be to say you think he's like.
I'm going to say it's Sirianni. So before Scotty goes, I'm going to say it's Sirianni.
Okay.
But,
Why
like,
is
you
that?
think
I'm
he's
curious
so-
why. I'm curious why.
Because everything you just said, George, okay, when to use your legs, when to use your arm, when to roll out, when not to, that's coaching.
It
Hurts
is
gotta
and
do
it's
it.
not, though. It's instinct.
Coaching.
Hurts has
We
to
have seen nonstop Nick Sirianni hands-on coaching, which we haven't seen in a long,
No,
long time.
I agree.
And so it comes down to the coach
But ultimately,
teaching the player. So if he
instincts
does a
creep
bad
in.
instinct week 1, it's up to Sirianni before week 2 to coach that out of him. After week 3 to coach that out of him. So I say it's more important for Sirianni for the Eagles' success.
For an entire year?
That's what I'm saying. At that
Yeah, that's the
Absolutely.
thing. Like an entire year.
What's that?
We can only hope that Sirianni's not a big negative.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. Let me tell you, I've said it before on my shows before. Look, we don't know if
he's
he's a
neutral,
good.
I will be happy as
We
well.
don't know if Nick Sirianni's a good coach.
Don't get in the way.
But what I do know is he seems like a good leader and a good teacher.
I think it's 100% Hurts.
Okay, we got 100%
100%
hurt.
Hurts.
I don't think you get any higher than that.
I think he drinks 50 Red Bulls a day.
He might. I would run through a brick wall for Nick Sirianni, though. And that's why I think it's on the coach. But that's why I have that. That's why he needs to do that to this young.
I may be wrong.
I hope you're wrong, so I can be right.
Nobody
But
knows.
just so you know, I am wrong about 90% of the time on my show.
These guys are awesome. Good crowd.
Adam, Hurts or Sirianni?
Sirianni.
I got one person on the Sirianni bandwagon. Thank you. Thank you. Scotty?
Man,
Just say it.
part of me wants Sirianni. So what I'll say, I'm going to go Hurts. I do think that Sirianni, he could be the biggest detractor. You know what I mean by that? He could be the biggest negative. He could be a bigger negative than what Hurts could be. But I think when it comes down to success and what it means to the team, I think Hurts has to be that guy.
So let me ask you, because I know going into last season you were a Carson elite
Absolutely.
guy, so was I. But let me ask you, as the season went on, who'd you blame?
Who did I blame?
Carson's player, or were you blaming?
I was
Doug?
blaming both because the play
But you
calling,
know a
the
lot of
coaching.
people ultimately
Absolutely.
blame
Dude,
Carson
let me tell you
Wentz.
something. Just like it took me longer than anybody else to get off the Ben Simmons bandwagon, it took me longer than anybody else
Me
to get off the
too.
Carson Wentz
Yeah,
bandwagon.
no, I
Me
think
too.
we're all in that same
Yeah.
movie.
I think right when
But
they benched
all
Wentz
these guys
is when
here at this
I
table
would've
right
benched
now,
Wentz. Like,
we
that's how
all
far I would've
have no
taken
problem admitting when we're wrong, right?
Yeah, no.
He's
Yeah,
learning
this
right
is
along
a big
part of
learning
it.
year for him,
Actually,
too.
all the coaches are learning right now because
They've
obviously
never called plays.
Gannon,
Never.
Steichen, all these guys.
It's JG. Get it right.
All right, JG, whatever. It's JG.
It's a big
all
year
these
for the Cowboys
coaches,
staff.
all these coaches are in positions they've never been in before. Every one of them are taking a step up in their careers this year. So it's learning for all of them. All right, so the nuts and bolts, the whole brass taxes of everything comes down to the win-loss. Now, I know you guys got our shows. So if you don't want to make record predictions, you don't have to. The poll question was, how many wins will the Eagles have? 6 or less, 7 to 9. I'm not answering that. 10 to 11, 12 or more. So let's just say 35% voted 6 or less, which I'm surprised it was that high. There's a lot of Cowboys fans voting there.
Right.
7 to 9 cleared it with 46. 10 to 11, 17%, and 2%. It's like 2 people voted 12 or more wins. So I'm going to say my prediction. All right, guys. You guys can call me dumb, crazy, whatever. So I got the Eagles schedule right here in front of me, okay? I got the Eagles going 9-8 this year.
That's fine.
I do have them win the division. We'll get into that in a second. But I got them 9-8. I have them winning this week and next week against the 49ers, which –
Can I ask a question?
what's that?
Best bet is to win a week division.
Absolutely, and that's why I have it. We'll get into the betting odds in a second on
Can I
that.
ask a question?
Yo,
Can I ask a question?
yeah, ask away.
What do you have to do against Washington and my name Fitzpatrick?
Hold on, let me look.
Fitzmagic.
I got them
Magic.
going 1-1 against Washington.
Depends if Fitzpatrick's still starting by then.
That's why I got them 1-1 and not 0-2.
Never
Just so you
made
know.
playoffs.
No. So I got them winning the first 2 games of the season, okay? But then I got them going on a 5-game losing streak after that. I got them losing to the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Panthers, the Bucks. By the way, Panthers,
Tough.
Sneaky team.
Very
People
sneaky.
do not realize how
Sam
good.
Darnold, Sam Darnold getting out of
Even
New
without
York.
even if Sam Darnold's
Getting out of New York,
average,
he's-
and Christian
big.
McCaffrey
Yeah.
is a healthy running back,
Yep.
and Sam Darnold's an average quarterback,
That's all he has to be.
that defense and everything else around.
Teddy Two Gloves.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
People are sleeping on the Panthers this year, 100%. Got them losing to the Panthers, Bucks, and Raiders. Then I got them coming back and winning 6 of the next 7. So I see this as a season of streaks.
Now let me ask you this: you have him at 9 wins.
9 wins,
Is
yes.
that like everything goes right?
No, because we just talked about the Panthers. I could see them beating the Panthers, but I'm right now, before the season starts, I'm buying into Matt Rule.
Because I'm on.
And Christian McCaffrey.
I think if everything goes right and everything hits the ceiling, we win 9 games.
See, I think if everything goes 100%, Hurts is a great quarterback. He's our franchise.
Ooh.
Okay, if he is, if Sirianni's the coach of the future, I can see him winning 11
I have
games.
7.
I could see them winning 11
I'm
games.
sitting around 7.
Okay, I mean,
maybe
and that's
8.
a valid number. George, Jason, anybody else still watching online? I would love to hear your predictions. Put them up on the screen. I got them at 9 wins because, I think it's a weak division. I've got them winning 1 game against Washington. I get 1 against Dallas. I got them beating both in Giants. Giants are the most overrated team in our
Very
division.
stinky.
So,
Hate 'em
where
too.
do you think, Dylan? 9 and 8. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. When me and Scotty did a schedule breakdown months and months ago before some of the additions,
Which was stupid, just so you know. You don't do a season prediction record.
No. We did it then, and then
7 and 10 from Jason.
We're going to do one this upcoming
Okay.
week on Turf Talk and compared to where we were
Okay.
before. I have them in the 7 and 9 range as far as your bowl goes. I probably have them more so around the 7 range. I would take the over on the 6.5 total. But no, I don't.
Which,
think
by the
you're
way,
crazy for 9
they
and 8.
were minus 140 is the over under 6.5 wins. And I hammered the over because I think over 6.5 wins is a lock of a bet. I've already made that bet. Minus 140. So every dollar wins you $1.71. I just because I bet tiny. I'm not a $100 better, $1,000 better. I'm a $1 to $2 better. So I got the over on the 6.5 wins.
Yeah, I got over on the 6.5. That one's kind of easy for me. I'm leaning more towards what you were saying before you even said it. I was thinking 9 and 8 there. Just a lot of bad teams on the schedule as well. It's not a very difficult schedule after you get out of the meat in the first part of the season. And let's be honest,
Let's
they're gonna get a
look
lot
at
of
that again.
experience.
You got the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Panthers, the Buccaneers. So you got the 2 Super Bowl guys, teams, 2 out of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, this schedule is tough in that first
But
half of the
that's
season.
great experience for them as a young team as well. They're going to go through the gauntlet early.
Well, so you go on that 5-game losing streak,
said we beat the
and then you
Bucks?
come home to. No, they can't. You lost all credibility there. You stop talking.
A lot of optimism.
Who they're playing the week before, they can beat the Bucks the following week.
You come home and you beat the Chargers week 8, and you can start a roll because the Broncos, in my opinion, suck. You got the Giants and the Jets back-to-back weeks.
I like the Broncos defense, man.
I don't. I mean, I do like the Broncos defense against the Giants and the Jets weeks, 2 and 3, but but not against the Eagles.
So here's what I'll say to your 2 comments about the 9 and 8 being the ceiling.
I didn't say the ceiling.
No,
I said 10,
I
11
know,
is
you
the
said
ceiling.
that.
I said
So-
9's an average number.
So
for
what
me.
I'll say is, if everything goes perfectly as of right now, I think 9 would be the ceiling, unless, to your point, Jalen Hurts exceeds my expectations by
A mile.
a lot. Like
Look,
he's
And then-
7
and then
wins
we're
for
looking at 10,
real
11.
this year.
You guys
We're
are
at
saying
10-11.
7 wins.
Yeah.
That means Jalen Hurts is an average quarterback. Then we're going into the next offseason with more question marks. I think 9 wins, that puts him in that 15 to 13 range of quarterbacks in the league, which means maybe you keep him another year.
That's fair.
But if he gets to the ceiling is what I want to say is 10 or 11 wins, then we know Jalen Hurts is our quarterback of the
He's it.
future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I'm not trying to be homer with my predictions. I really looked at this schedule. I also looked at, we played the Cowboys week 3. The guys are lost on the road. But every team, I looked at who they played the week before, who they played the week after, make sure it wasn't a letdown game and whatnot. So that's where I'm at on it because I think it's a fair thing. Adam, how many wins they got? 9? So he's on board with me with 9 wins. I like that. I think 9's a fair number. All right, so 9, 7, 10, whatever we're all at. I put a poll question where they finish in the division. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh man.
29%.
One.
29%. The winning number was first place. Woo! Tied.
Yeah.
26% second and third place, and only 19% voted fourth place. What position they finished in the division? First, second, third, fourth. Second and second. First.
Man, you have no
I
idea
say
how
nine-
bad I want to say
nine.
1 right now.
Nine.
But I'm not
Nine
gonna be
wins.
that guy.
9 wins. Wins the division.
But I don't think they're at 9. I think they're 7 and 10. I think
I say they meet that 9th win, week 17 against Dallas at home.
they're
And that wins in
second
the
or
division.
third. I don't really have it. They're better than the Giants, and then I don't
And
know.
then it tosses up.
Yeah.
The Giants, I think, are
I'm not
left.
saying
Giants are winning 3 or 4
And then
games.
after that, it's
listen,
toss-up.
listen. I am not one of those people saying that the Eagles are in a total retool year. They have no chance to win this division. No one knows that. I think they have a decent chance to win the division, but I'm just not ready to pick that yet. I need to see at least 2-3 weeks of Jalen Hurts and this team before I say they can compete for a division.
Yeah.
Even if it's a bad division.
Where are you guys at?
Washington's the team that worries me. A lot of it depends.
Hold on. We got to bring something up
Fitzpatrick.
here. George is bringing up an interesting question here, or comment. 11 wins by the Eagles does not make Jalen Hurts the future quarterback of the Eagles, necessarily.
If he wins 11 games, if the Eagles
How
win
can you
11
not
games,
commit to him long term?
Yeah, I
he's-
feel like you
it's-
got
you're
At least for
committed to Jalen.
2022.
Yeah, at least for one more year.
Pretty
Yeah,
damn good.
I think it's a
That's pretty
fantastic
good.
record. Yeah. Sorry, your British counterpart saying you're wrong there, George.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
What win-loss record justifies the Sirianni Hurts?
Man, 11 does it.
11. I think 10 does it actually, probably.
11 does it easy.
Yeah.
No, I'll go
Nine.
forward with George's point that we've been talking about for a long time. It's not wins and losses this year. It's how you get to those wins and losses. If you're competitive, what they look like, everything like that. But I think 11 would ultimately say they're playing well and Sirianni's doing
that's
well
what I'm
that they
thinking,
got
too.
11
Yeah.
wins. So
I think 9 and winning the division, depending on how they win the division and how they win and lose games, 9 may even lock it up.
Yep.
I mean, it's questionable, but it could potentially, depending on how it goes. But yeah, that's that.
I tend to agree with the idea that it's not the 11 wins itself that makes him the guy for the future.
No,
But if you get 11
Right, you
wins
gotta assume
with
he's
him
playing
at the
pretty
quarterback
damn well,
position, he's playing really well. It's the way I would phrase it is, if he doesn't have 11 wins, that doesn't mean he didn't have a successful season. That's the way I would put it. But 11 wins, you lock that in. That's who
Absolutely.
expects this team to get 11 wins. I mean, you look
You
at the
gotta-
schedule.
All right,
You gotta be very
all right.
optimistic.
Season hole predictions, because we're hitting the hour mark here on DSM Media, live from Throwbacks Sports Lounge in Hockessin, Delaware. All right, so I made all my preseason bets already are made, okay? I always bet the Eagles and one Eagle to win MVP, okay? It's just what I do as a fan. So I have Hurts at 65-1 and Eagles at 100-1 to win the Super Bowl. So I think they hit? No. But they're fun fan bet, homer bets to make and all. All right, the bets that I care about, that I think that are legit bets, and you guys can tell me, I got the Eagles as 5-1 to win the division. If I think they're winning 9 games, I think 5-1, as they're actually odds-wise the least likely to win the division. So I think that's actually really strong odds.
Really?
Yeah, they
5-1 is good odds.
4.5-1
For a
on the
very
Giants.
bad
I
division.
think it was 3-1 on the Cowboys, and I think it was like -150 on Washington or something like that.
For a division like this, 5-1
Absolutely.
is great value.
No, I agree.
5-1, Eagles win the division. Yes. Would you feel confident
I
making
would,
that bet?
yeah, I would make that bet all day. Yeah.
Adam agrees. Okay, on that. All right, so that's one. Obviously, like I already said, I hammered the over on the 6.5 under wins. MVP, realistic MVP votes. And now, obviously, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, they're your favorites to win the MVP.
Yeah.
I don't like making those bets. I like to look at the odds and see teams that could exceed expectations. So I got Ryan Tannehill at 28-1 and Baker Mayfield 35-1 to win MVP. Because I think the odds, they're both on teams that can win their division. The Titans can make the Super Bowl potentially. They have a really, really good team. What do you think of those odds? Or do you guys have another long shot MVP candidate that would probably be in that 30 to 25-ish range?
Brandon, what do you got?
Who do you got?
Well, here's what I'll say about your two. I'm not the biggest Tannehill guy.
Okay.
And I feel like there is a lot of people saying, him as that value pick for MVP.
28-1. You added Julio Jones to A.J. Brown. You still got Derrick Henry.
And I love their offense. And he definitely could, but I like the Baker one more. I think Baker continues to take that next step for the Browns. I think the Browns are going to be a really tough team that, people, not that people aren't talking about them because they are, but I think the Browns are legit Super Bowl, can play in the Super Bowl this year. I love the Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
thing.
Where was he at?
I don't know what his numbers are at.
It's probably in that
Stafford-
25-30 to 1, somewhere in that range.
I'll look it up, but
I
I
love
agree.
the Stafford fit in LA.
While he looks
and
that
the
up,
Bay system.
Scotty, what do you got with those MVP odds?
So I would lean more towards what Dylan said. I
Okay.
do think Baker should be the favorite out of those two.
Okay.
The only reason I look at it like that, I think if Baker can take the next step, which he needs to, if he wants that extension, he has to take that
That
next
also
step.
comes down to OBJ.
Yes,
You know, being
OBJ,
healthy. If
the
he's healthy,
surrounding
if he's
team,
healthy.
They got a mean running game. They got a great defense. They're going to put him in a position to where he can win MVP.
Right.
Matt Stafford's sitting at 18 to 1.
Well, I see. I don't like those odds
Yeah,
as
it's
much.
not as good.
But
Yeah, I don't like that as much as I am.
do agree with Baker Mayfield. I agree to that point. I think Baker Mayfield's a great value bet, but I do love the Ryan Tannehill value bet because that offense
What's the
is
good?
going to
What's the
put
good
up
numbers?
numbers. I think
I was
it's like-
gonna
Look, all I'm
ask
gonna
about
say
Tom
is
Brady,
the
yeah.
Titans and
sitting
Browns
at,
probably win their divisions, in my opinion.
I agree.
I agree.
And I think those teams win their divisions kind of give some voters a little bit of a might lean their way instead of again for Brady or again for Mahomes and stuff like that.
Jameis-
The reason
Jameis
those
is
two
40 to
scare
1.
me.
Who is?
Jameis Winston 40 to 1.
I actually thought of adding that to that.
Lot of-
I almost
lot of
added
yards,
that.
lot of
I'm
touchdowns.
on the.
I
For
love
side
Jameis.
personal reasons, I hate Jameis Winston because I hate Florida State. Not going to say why. I hate Florida State. And I hate everybody from Florida State.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going to throw that out there. But Jameis Winston was the right pick to be that quarterback in New Orleans, and Jameis Winston is going to be. He's going to compete with the Bucs for first place in that division.
How do we feel about Russell Wilson? George,
A lot of
just
people are
threw this one in
sleeping.
here.
A lot of people are sleeping on Russell Wilson. Everybody's writing the Seahawks off. Everybody's going with the Rams and the 49ers.
Yeah.
You can never
What about
write
the same
Russell
division?
Wilson.
What's Kyler's numbers at?
Tyler is also one of the
Kyler's
favorites.
another.
Yeah.
Kyler's going to
another
put up
sleeper.
numbers this year.
Kyler's-
If the
Right, but I don't
numbers
think their
match the
deep,
wins.
No.
I don't think their defense is good enough, and I'm not sold on their coach either.
16 to 1.
No, I'm not
The
betting
thing
that.
that worries me about Tannehill
I
and
would, what's
Baker,
Russell Wilson?
14 to 1.
I would rather take 14 to 1 on Russell Wilson than Kyler
So would
Murray.
I.
Absolutely.
The thing that worries me about Tannehill and Baker is that both teams, you got the rushing champ on one, and the Browns pound the hell out of the rock with Chubb and Kareem Hunt. If both those teams are run first, play action, only throwing 21 pass attempts, 25 pass attempts a game, I don't think their numbers are going to be able to match MVP type numbers.
I do agree. I think they have players on their team that could end up outplaying them. I think that's what you're kind of getting at there, Dylan, with like Derrick Henry, Nick
Could be
Chubb.
more important.
Could be more important, and I think we could see that. But I guess that's what I mean by Baker Mayfield. He has to take that next step for the Browns to get to
Absolutely.
that next step, and for him to
And-
earn that,
and
that
you know what?
extension.
I
that-
won't actually say I'm confident he can take that next step.
Oh, yeah.
I just see the professionals that do this for a living and get paid to do it. They're all buying into the Tannehill or the Baker Mayfield and the Browns hype, and a lot of people are predicting the Browns to win the division.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have question marks, but from what I've read and heard, and at 35 to 1, I think
Yeah.
you can't
Why
pass those.
not?
And that
The,
offense-
not?
the
Yeah.
little dotted lines I've lined up, and I picked them for that reason.
Two solid tight ends. You still have Landry and OBJ. Nick Chubb is a stud. Kareem Hunt is
Absolutely.
there. There's
They got
so
the best
much.
1-2 punch of running
There's
backs.
so much on that offense that
Absolutely.
you can do it.
Yeah.
All right,
That's great.
so my Super Bowl prediction, okay, there's sure to be wrong, I guarantee it. I've got the Buccaneers defeating the Tennessee Titans in the Super Bowl this year. Couldn't go with the Chiefs because everybody picks the Chiefs. I think the Titans actually are a good enough team to make a run. They're going to win their division, in my opinion. And I bet that's the Super Bowl matchup, not the winner, just the matchup. I got 70 to 1 on that. I think that's pretty good odds for the Buccaneers to go back and the Titans, one of the final 4 teams last year, to make it back.
Great odds. And like those are always long shots.
Yeah.
And
I mean, other than the Eagles, because obviously the
if
Eagles
you're
are
not
winning the Super
taking,
Bowl.
if you're not taking Chiefs Bucks, the Titans.
I didn't expect everybody to
great.
laugh when I said Eagles are winning the Super Bowl.
Well, if you're not taking Chiefs Bucks, the Titans are a great team to add into there.
Absolutely.
They
It was
really
either
are.
going to be the Bills or the Titans. I just like the odds a little bit better
And
on the
like Dylan
Titans.
said, like I'm not a big Tannehill guy, but I mean numbers never.
I think
lie.
Tannehill's a very
Numbers don't lie.
underappreciated
Yeah,
underappreciated
he's done
quarterback.
nothing but put up numbers in Tennessee.
Exactly.
So,
And I mean, Tannehill's only been playing quarterback for, 10 years now? 9 years? He didn't start playing quarterback until his junior year of college. He was a wide receiver. Normally wide receiver or quarterbacks transition to wide receiver or
Yeah.
tight end. He transitioned from wide receiver, tight end to quarterback. So I'm a big Tannehill guy. Do you guys want to throw out Super Bowl predictions without ruining your show? You're saving them. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Because we're all going to be watching Turf Talk. Yeah, we will. We will be watching Turf Talk. You may have during this show, if not this show hitting 2,000. I didn't get it shared out on Facebook, so we didn't get to 2,000 this show. We had some great viewership tonight. Super Bowl.
I'm
Eagles?
Eagles. I'm very.
You know, at 12:59 on Sunday afternoon, we're
It's
all going to be
changing.
saying Super Bowl.
That's right. When we come on for post-game live after the Eagles beat the Falcons, we're all going to be talking Super Bowl.
I don't know, man.
That's all
The
right,
team
'cause
looks
my
different. They look for real.
That's
My
right.
man George in London, he'll hold me down. He always brings
George-
me back down to earth.
George is our reality checker. That's why I love
he
George.
is. He is, man.
Shout out to George, Jason, everybody watching the show.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Appreciate
so
it. I
much.
can't see the comments because they're off to the side over here. I'm trying to lean around here. I can't see them. That's what we're doing remote. George,
Man.
Super Bowl.
Dude, it's-
We gave you time to think.
I know. We
I
were
know,
stalling for
and,
you to think.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and everything just keeps coming back to Bucks Chiefs, and I feel so basic with it. But those two teams are just so much better than every other team in the NFL, in my opinion. So it's hard for me not to pick that. I really do agree with you that the Titans are an amazing placeholder. Maybe the Ravens, even teams like that.
Yeah. I
see.
can
Look, Lamar ain't getting
Listen,
there.
Look.
I'm gonna.
What about the Browns,
Colts?
though?
We
I
do
love
have
the
one
Browns.
shout out
I
for the
do.
Colts making the Super Bowl.
What?
Carson, who do you have as your Super Bowl prediction?
Yeah, it's true.
Is it going to be a Buccaneers Chiefs repeat? Or is there going to be somebody different in it?
Hard to go.
Absolutely. All right. Anyway, realistic prediction. Not that joke about the Colts. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to bet that because the odds are low.
Odds do favor that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love
Exactly.
Buffalo.
So last year, I'll take hits on my Twitter page. You guys can throw it at me. Any kind of bet you want me to make. Last year, somebody predicted Buffalo in the Super Bowl. Okay, and I said there was no chance in hell that Buffalo was making the Super Bowl. And I threw it out there that I would go through a table, Bills Mafia style, if the Bills made the Super Bowl. I was sweating that one out.
What
Still
about
the
this
chip.
year?
That's what I'm saying. I want people to throw random bets at me that if something happens that isn't expected to happen, that I'll do X, Y, Z.
Eagles make the Super Bowl. Phil has to taste horse manure.
No,
Like that
I
kid.
passed on that. I mean, you want to do something
Wow,
else?
you have that. You have a little bit of faith that you can play the Super Bowl.
No, I'm just not tasting horse manure, win or lose. I was willing to go through a table. I'm not tasting horse manure. Okay, that's a no. Okay. And anybody watching, you want to throw a bet at me, an idea at me, we'll do it. We'll do it. But horse manure is on the no list.
Jason says Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
Who?
Jason says Green Bay.
Green Bay could make the Super Bowl. Here we go. All right. We got to wrap this show up here.
Phil has to run around naked on DSM.
Yeah, we would have DSM shut down
Yeah,
in
we
3
might be-
seconds.
we might be
That wouldn't be
after
fair
that.
to these guys.
They're gonna ban us.
So that's a no. I'm willing to go through physical pain. That's okay. I'll take a tattoo. Bet whatever. But horse manure and naked, yeah, no. I don't want to ruin this brand before we even get off the ground here. So let's go on the final poll questions. We wrap this up, guys.
Yeah, let's get it.
Will DSM Media take over Eagles coverage in 2021? Yes, of course, damn straight, or hell's freaking yeah.
I just look at the odds, and it's a minus 500. Yes.
Minus 500, yes.
Hell's freaking yeah.
Hell's freaking yes.
It's a hell yes for me.
Hell's
We're going
yes.
to the moon, guys.
I was going to
Hell
say damn
yeah.
straight.
Damn straight.
I gave you the option.
There is no other
There is
option.
Yes.
none.
No, there is no other
There is
show.
no other option.
Anybody should be watching, following. Dude, I'm so happy to work with these guys. Dylan, Scotty, George, Jeremy. Again, I almost said another name, but I didn't say it. Jason. I almost threw another name out there, so we won't do that. Anyway, again, DSM Media is training for 4 quarters every Wednesday night live, 9 p.m. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'll be back next week. Expanding, taking over, not just Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, sports. We're trying to convince Jason to do a Michigan and college football show. We'll be back tomorrow night live, 9 p.m. for DFS, no pun intended. What do you guys got tomorrow? Turf Talk at 7 p.m.?
Tomorrow, 3:30, Diamond Talk. Hopefully talk about this Phillies
3-3
right now.
right now, the Phillies.
Game-winning series. Hopefully.
That's right. DSM's taking over. We got shows every day of the week. and we're going to continue doing it. I can't wait to do post-game live
Yeah.
Sunday,
Oh,
right
that's
after the Eagles game. I will also do a quick halftime live show, just quick reactions from everybody. So make sure you're following, subscribing, turn those notifications on so you never miss a moment of DSM Media. And can we get one of these cameras on the bar here?
Yeah.
Is there a way to do
Pick that
that?
up.
Is there a way to do that?
Take it off.
Because this is Throwbacks Sports Lounge in Hockessin, Delaware. The absolute best. We need to go Birds. Everybody. No, nobody's paying attention anymore.
Birds!
We gotta
Go
Birds!
Birds!
There we go. Hey, everybody.
E-L-E-S, Eagles!
We gotta have somebody ruin it. Thanks a lot. Hey, everybody, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode on DSM Media. Go Birds.
Peace,
Go Birds.
guys.